Good afternoon. It is Sunday, August 23rd at 1:35 p.m. I decided to create a video because I'm terrified of doing it. I have spent my life hiding, and in recent times, I've been doing some deep diving into unlocking and understanding my power and my desires. So I just wanted to share what is going on for me right now. And one of the things I'm learning is that I have to really slow way down to share who it is I am right now. And I've been taking these classes from Perry Chase, and they're classes on connecting with my feminine power and my feminine desire. And I was picking up this idea that if I have been trying to do something for a really long time and not doing it, then it must be a fantasy. So what occurred to me is that, I have been trying to be a certain weight since I'm 5 years old. And I'm sure I'm not the only one like this, because I talk to women all the time. I'm a physician, and I talk to women all the time about a goal weight, or I'm aware that women in particular have a lot of issues around weight and food and a certain way we're supposed to look. But at any rate, I have this issue as well. And, I have had a sugar addiction since I'm 5 years old. And so it has been the way that I have gotten my mother to pay attention to me. My mother had a lot of issues of depression and anxiety and rage addiction, and she was suicidal and la. And I took on the role of taking care of her or rescuing her so that she would take care of me, which of course never happened. But one of the things I could do was have this eating issue, and she could take me to all kinds of doctors and trying to fix me in my eating issue. Doctors and Weight Watchers, and I've had shots and pills before I was 12 years old. I had all these things going on. And what she didn't know was that I was being sexually molested. And I say all that because I needed to freeze tightly onto my sexuality, my feminine power. I had to freeze it and then protect it because it was way too explosive for me to reveal. I knew that the world could not handle the fact that I was being sexually abused, especially back in the 1970s. That wasn't even something we talked about. I didn't even acknowledge it. I just wrapped it up or put it in a jar down in the basement, and I wasn't going to deal with it. So I wasn't a lot of denial about it. But the way it came out is through this food addiction. I could really enjoy some food, much like being touched sexually. I could really enjoy some food and then feel super guilty and shamed because of it. And then I could get attention from my mother with it, right? So in the process of being sexually abused, I developed this story I developed a story, and it was a story meant to be protective. The story was that I was ugly and unattractive and not sensual, and that way I didn't have to be responsible for the sexual attention from grown men that was coming my way. I was molested by several men when I was young, including my father, my stepfather, my uncle, my stepfather's best friend. And I think I needed to not feel guilty for that. And so the way I did that was to make up the story that I was unattractive and not sexy. And I carried that into my adulthood, and I had this story wrapped around my power and my sex. And I had to keep hiding, and I was always like, why? I always wondered why it was so hard for me to come out, why it was so hard for me to be seen. And it still is, but I'm breaking through that right now. So here I am with this story, all of my adult life. I'm 61. And the story is, I want to have this goal weight, and I've been working on it, and I can't do it. And I've done many things that, I've come out of the ghettos of New York. I was in poverty. I've done many things that a lot of people would consider extraordinary. I became a doctor. I went to medical school at 35. I've survived many, many traumas. But I couldn't get a handle of this food addiction that I've had. Well, I can't say I couldn't, because in medical school I was 300 pounds. So I lost 140 pounds, but that's been layer after layer. So this layer right now that I'm working on is this goal of 135. So Perry says, I want to say she said it to me. She said it to a class, but it feels like she said it to me. She says, if you've been working on something that is external and you have not been able, well, first of all, it's going to fail because it's an external goal and not an internal goal. And also, if I've been working on it for a long time, then the goal is actually a fantasy, because it's whatever that goal is, it's not real. Because if I really wanted it, I would have it. So I had to play with that. It was just like, all right. So it really screwed me up for a minute, because I'm sitting there like, wow, is that right? Does that fit? Like, is being 135 pounds a fantasy? And if I wanted it, I would have it. Is there a part of me that doesn't want it? Oh, maybe it's a part of me that doesn't want it because I would have to learn to take responsibility for my ability to attract attention, my power in being the call, instead of like attracting men, which I tried to do all the time. It happened all the time. I could never let it in. I never really believed it. It was like, they're crazy. There's something wrong with them. I couldn't let any of it in. So do I want to be 135 pounds? Maybe not. Maybe. What is the thing that I want then? I want to be attractive, wanted, loved, sexy. I want to be able to feel myself. Well, is 135 pounds going to get me that? My fantasy says yes, but my rational mind can see no. Because I've been that way maybe 3 times in my life, and I still didn't have it. Ding, ding, ding. I'm like, why can't I let it in? Don't people in my life love me and want me? Aren't I attractive? Aren't I sexy? Of course I am. There are people who do want me. I have a lot of people in my life. Lots of people love me. So what is it that doesn't let me feel it? So there's a place where I'm beginning to see that I really have to turn my attention away from the external to the internal and begin to love and cherish myself. And I can actually feel that right now. I can actually feel the part of me that's falling in love with my body. Like this week I was thinking, I like my thick thighs, and I love my curves, and I love my curly hair, and I love my energy, and I love my ability to know myself inside. And I know I have a lot more to give the world. And so now I'm working on opening up. I'm working on opening up and letting in love from myself first. That's the thing. I can let people love me if I love me. I have to love me first. And suddenly I can notice that people do love me. And that most of the things that I feel, I'm not the only one in the world that feels this. And the place where I think I have to be some kind of perfect or look some kind of way, wow, can I just be permission? Can I just do what it is? Can I just be who it is I am with my strengths and my weaknesses, and let you really see me and be vulnerable and open? Can I do that? Can I do that? So I've been on this lifelong journey trying to figure out how to be healthy, how to have ageless health. I want to be healthy as I age. And even though I've lost 140 pounds, I have been stuck here, and I have been vaguely aware that I'm at this next layer of my journey, because that's what I see. I see my health as has been a journey all my life. And I am on the next layer of this journey right now, and this is it. I'm telling you about it right here in this whole weight issue. Like, I used to look at Oprah and I'm like, she's stuck there too. Or other people, I see people all over the place that have struggled with this all their life. And I know this is like an issue that's bigger than me, but at the same time, I know that I can access my power and love myself right here. I mean, I used to hear that all the time and I couldn't get it. So I'm sure this is not going to be the first video I do like this. I'm going to try and chronicle my journey here. So right now I'm just feeling, I could feel this rod going all the way up through my body into my neck. This is the sensation I avoid. So I am going to do some research. My research is going to be what comes up when I do not act on the addictive behavior of eating when I have these sensations. What are the sensations? Can I open up and allow the sensations? And when I find myself in that behavior again, I got the instruction from Perry in one of her videos. When I find myself in the behavior of eating to suppress, or of going unconscious and eating, can I just notice there I go again? And can I not shame myself? And can I allow myself to learn what's there for me to learn? Where did I go out of my range? how can I expand my range of feeling? I think there's one more thing I need to talk about, and that is that this D'Angelo person, who I won't call a monster like everybody else is calling a monster, but this D'Angelo man who did this horrendous stuff to a lot of people. I have been really drawn to listening to the victims' account. You know, they all did hours of testimony this week. And I've been really drawn to listening to it because, and I've been like, why am I so drawn to listening to this? And it's just like, because there's some grieving and some identification I have with loss, like the loss of, like, who would I be had I not been molested? A different person, I guess, because it is part of what makes me who I am. But my pull to listen to these accounts, these stories from these victims of these crimes, there's like this grief just that's welling up in my body, and I don't know, I'm just drawn to keep listening. And maybe it's like I feel like I just need to hold my head back, open up my throat, and feel this grief that wants to come through me, because I've had loss similarly, and I have felt fear of men and men's sexuality and their ability to overpower me and their ability to take something from me, like the loss of my dad, who I loved and had to lose because of the sexual abuse that happened. So a lot of grief, just a lot of grief, and I'm gonna keep letting it come up and just be aware that I don't take myself out with it. Whew, that was a lot. And I'm going to end right now, and I will say more, I'm sure, in the future. Thank you.